everybody, back for the second video for my channel. Got the whole memory storage shit figured out, so we're gonna do ourselves a dip review. And I'm kind of acting a little weird because I don't want to do this. I really don't. And I figured, why not start the first video review out on my channel as a dip review for a dip that I really don't like. Okay. If you watch my first video, in that video I said that my daily dips are Copenhagen and Grizzly Wintergreen. Okay. I like wintergreens, also like mints, and I like straights. Not a big fan of natural dips like LC and Snuff and stuff like that. I've had LC a couple times and I can't do it. Never had Snuff, but I'll probably try it soon. If y'all request it, I'll buy a freaking $7 can of Snuff and I'll try it. So we're gonna get into it. Yes, since y'all are probably gonna ask, I am filming this directly after the same day, actually about 40 minutes between my very first video and this video. So if you're wondering why I keep looking behind the camera, I have a mirror set up so that I can make sure I'm in frame and stuff. So if I keep looking off, that's where I'm looking. Okay, so I'm gonna grab the can out of the tower and we're gonna get after it. Figured since I work at Discount Tire, I'm always wearing red and black. We'll do the red mud jug, and they're all clean. And I found out the best way to wake your mom up from taking a nap. I live upstairs in my parents' house. Me and my sister do. And I have 3 mud jugs. I have the OD green, which is holding the camera up, the red, and the black. Well, I was upstairs in the bathroom cleaning out my mud jugs, okay? And I had all the funnels taken off, and I was cleaning out the actual jug. And I had set 2 jugs on top of each other without the funnels, like this, on the counter while I was cleaning the olive drip. Well, like an idiot, I go to pick all 3 of them up without the funnels on, and I'm holding them over the bathtub, and 2 of them drop and hit the bathtub. And if you've ever dropped a mud jug, you know how they bounce. So 2 mud jugs are in the bathtub. Glug, 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 glug. My mom comes upstairs freaking out, thinking I'm tearing the house down. So if you want to wake anybody up, just drop 2 mud jugs in the bathtub, and they're sure to run in. So on that side note, since I'm procrastinating, let me tear the dip can tower down because it's pretty far down on the tower, and get the dip. Put the tower back up. So today we're going to be dipping Skoal Classic Wintergreen. Okay, this is U.S. smokeless. Okay. It's one of my least favorite Skoals ever. I have done Skoal Cherry, Skoal Peach, Berry, Apple, Straight, and Mint. And my favorite is the Mint. Okay. This one, where Wintergreens is concerned, is garbage. This needs to be dipped by December 27th. Can't really see it because it's been rubbed off, but December 27th, that's when this needs to be dipped by. And I don't know how much I have in it, so I guess let's pack a lip. But as you can see, typical Skoal can with your honeycomb thing on the outside. You know, I like the Skoal cans. I like the way they look. Almost pulled a Joey Led's tipping right there and dropped my can, but I like the way they look. Sorry for the snorting. Still battling the cold. Let me eat my coffee real quick. Okay, back in frame. I didn't leave for too long. A lot of people say they don't like these. I've seen pictures of the old cans. I like these cans better. But let's get into it. So we're going to do a top pack because I don't want to be too loud because I've already woke my mom up once. So oh my god. I've taken like 2 lips out of this. This isn't good. This isn't good at all. So first things first, the smell. You get that typical Skoal tobacco smell. Everyone knows that Skoal tobacco has its own unique smell. But it's not a punch-you-in-the-face wintergreen, okay? It's more, not even lifesaver mint. It's fake, okay? Packability, it packed together pretty good. This can's kind of old. Pretty dark brown. Doesn't look very wet. I mean, got a little bit on my finger there. It's wet enough. So I'm going to get us a hogger in. We're going to do it up front. So here we go. Pinchability is really good. I'm going to probably pack a filler. Pinchability for this stuff is really good. Never really had a problem with Skoal pinchability or packability because it packs and pinches pretty good. It can be kind of hard to get a pinch right out of the very beginning of the can though, because they pack them pretty full. So okay, come on. Ooh, sorry about the camera movement. We're gonna pack side and we'll put a little bit in the front, just cause I hate it. So there we go. God, I hate this stuff. Why don't I just spill dip everywhere? That works. It's not like I'm going to dip this can anyways. I'll give it to one of my buddies at work. So, let that sit for a minute. And, we'll just chat. Right off the get-go, for a wintergreen, this dip's pretty dry. It doesn't give you a lot of spit right off the get-go. It's kind of like Grizzly. You know, Grizzly takes a minute to soak up and start giving you some serious spit. But with Grizzly, you get a lot. This, I mean, it's not a ton, okay? I will have a little bit more spit because I'm drinking coffee, but it is what it is. So, let's talk about something, a privilege that I have that most of y'all don't. I work at Discount Tire, okay, here in West Texas. Hence my name, TX Dipper, okay? And here in West Texas, it's very socially acceptable to dip, okay? Now, granted, there are a lot of people that smoke here, but it's pretty socially acceptable. We don't have a lot of people that complain if you dip, and so I get to dip at work. As long as I'm not talking to a customer like this, I couldn't have this in and talk to a customer. My manager was like, no. But if I'm out back busting tires, just, you know, running the back, I can throw a big fat hogger in. As long as I don't spit on the floor, I'm good. He doesn't care, you know. So I feel pretty privileged to be able to dip on the clock. And when I'm at work, I chain dip. I will have a dip in at least once every hour and a half or so. So I go through a good amount of dip at work. One thing I try to do since I'm starting to be moved up and talk to customers more. Let me tear into the tower again real quick. Take this stupid Skoal can and put it at the bottom, because I ain't gonna dip it. So I did try pouches, Copenhagen Wintergreen pouches. Now this isn't a review on them, but for those of you that can't dip at work, or it's not socially acceptable in your area, pouches I feel are a good alternative. Okay, they're not going to give you the amount of spit that a dip would. They're easier to conceal. You're not going to get dip in your teeth. Like, I don't know if I've got any on my teeth, but you're not going to get dip in your teeth. So they're not going to see that. You can hike it back in the cheek pretty far. And if you've been dipping for a while, you can gut it. So I know a lot of people say you're a pussy if you only dip pouches. And, you know, I don't really care. You know, I consider myself to be part of the dipping community. I want to move up in the ranks, you know. But if you dip pouches because it's convenient, or you want to hide your dip from your parents or boss, coworkers, whatever, then dip pouches. If for whatever reason you can't get over the texture of having dip in your lip, but you like tobacco, dip pouches. You know, I don't care. unless it's Skoal berry pouches. That was an outlaw joke, by the way. But yeah, I don't know why people give other dippers such a hard time for dipping pouches. I don't. God, get spit all over my chin. Messy. I don't see why people give other people shit for dipping pouches. This is not that big of a deal, honestly. So if you want to dip pouches, dip pouches. I mean, it's a convenience thing. Like if I was on an airplane, I'd probably dip pouches because I can whip the can out real quick, drop the pouch in, put the can back in my pocket, and good to go. If the airline allows tobacco, I don't have to sit there and interrupt the conversation with a really loud pack and then throw a hogger in. It's not as messy. It's convenient. Sorry, it's convenient. And I think that's the biggest reason why they came out with patches, is because it's convenient. I know a lot of people that do snus, like my boss. He does snus. And he's got a really fucked bottom grill. His teeth are all jagged and stuff, and so he can't really hold a dip in. See, I got pretty straight teeth, so it's not hard for me, but I think you're still a dipper if you dip pouches. Now, let's get on to this Skoal. First things first, you don't get any wintergreen taste out of it. I've heard people say it tastes like Pepto-Bismol. I'm not getting that. You get a little bit of taste when you spit, but it's more like a tobacco flavor more than it is a wintergreen. Okay, it does have a little bit of sweetness. So if you don't like the taste, if you like the taste of tobacco but you don't like the saltiness of naturals, and you want to try wintergreen, go after it. It doesn't have as much nicotine as Copenhagen Long Cut, not anywhere close to wintergreen, Grizzly wintergreen. Blah, blah, blah. So if you want to start dipping wintergreens and you're afraid, I think it'd be a good one to get into, and you're getting a pretty good quality dip for your money. Now, where I'm at, Skoal is more expensive than Copenhagen. Skol's like $4.89 or some shit. It's like $5 a tax. Copenhagen Wintergreen is like $4.69 or something. And I talked about it in my last video. I won a bet with my buddy, so he had to buy me 5 cans of Copenhagen Wintergreen, and he got them for the $3.59 or $3.59, and so that saved him a few bucks, but I got it for free. So looks like I'll be dipping Copenhagen Wintergreen for the next week, and that'll allow me to save some money because I don't have to buy dip, which is always a good thing. But you don't get a lot of flavor. The main reason I'm getting a lot of spit is because, like I said, I'm drinking coffee. So you don't get a lot of spit. I don't get any floaters. I do kind of poke my tongue down on my dip a lot, make sure it stays packed because I talk a lot at work. And sometimes I'll be talking to customers. I don't want to have floaters everywhere. I don't want to be talking and dip be flying out of my mouth at people. And the thing I've noticed with Grizzly in particular, it plays hell on the gums. It's rough, okay? And if you're an amateur, I'm kind of an amateur. I've only been dipping for about 4 months. Grizzly, it'll make your lips and gums sore. So it could get you into the wintergreen game pretty easily without any pain or anything. Burn, not even close. Nicotine buzz, I literally just pulled the dip out, a big hogger of Copenhagen Wintergreen, about 20 minutes ago. Went and shaved, cleaned my mud jugs, pulled that dip out, and then put in this Skoal. And I still don't even have buzz. And this is a pretty decent lip, I'd say. No buzz. It's Skoal. I mean, a lot of people talk shit on Skoal, but everybody's got to start somewhere. And I'd much rather, if you're going to start dipping, you start with a good quality dip like Skoal versus Kayak or Longhorn or Husky, stupid shit like that. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to do this in every video. I'm going to give you a preview of what my next review is going to be. And let's rip the dip can tower apart again, so I can get down to the bottom, which is another dip that I don't like. So we're going to get the dips that I don't like out of the way. Next review, bam. That's all you get to see. If you didn't catch it, Pause the damn video. Sorry, not trying to knock off Outlaw there. Pause the video. So, but basically that's my review. If I had to give it a rating, I give it a 5 out of 10, just because no nicotine, no burn, no taste, but for the beginners, for people that don't like wintergreens, it has its place. So 5 out of 10. That's my review. Skoal Classic Wintergreen, boys and girls. But I'm out at 5,000. Y'all have a good day. Adios.